Hello and welcome to a new adventure, and today we're going to be looking at the old Butlins Filey Holiday Camp that stood right behind these gates here. So this is a video that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've been researching this place for probably over 20 years now, but I've finally got myself down to Butlins Filey to have a look round, and I'm hopefully going to show you guys what remains of this site. So this is going to be part of a mini series looking into Butlins Filey, and across the next few videos I'm going to tell you all about the camp, and I'm hopefully going to show you some things that you never knew, and also what it used to look like, and hopefully find some remains around here, because I know there are quite a few little bits left that I can show you guys. So that's what we're going to be doing over the next few videos. Butlins Filey opened on the 2nd of June 1945, but during its construction it was requisitioned for World War II, and it was renamed RAF Humminbee Moor, with over 6,000 military personnel on site. The camp opened with a capacity of only 1,500, but this was quickly raised to over 5,000 soon after. The camp became Billy Butlin's pride and joy, and the jewel in his crown. It rapidly expanded to accommodate over 11,000 happy campers. A short railway branch was created from the Scarborough main line running nearby, and a new Butlins Filey station opened just across the road from the camp in 1947. A tunnel was dug underneath the main road so that they could ferry the campers straight into the camp, and the station lasted right through until 1977, when visitor numbers by train and in general started to slump. The camp was the largest of the 8 UK Butlin sites, and included many attractions unique to this resort at the time. You could drink at the world's longest bar, ride the miniature railway around the large boating lake, take a chairlift straight to the beach entrance, and even ride the Wild Mouse roller coaster at the large on-site fun fair. In October 1983, a shock announcement came that Butlins Filey, along with Butlins Clacton, would close for good with immediate effect. Even the management team was somewhat stopped in their tracks, readying the camp to open for the 1984 season. The camp was later purchased by a businessman named Trevor Guy. He sold off part of the site to Primrose Valley next door, and he eventually reopened the remaining part of the camp as Amtree Park in 1986. But the camp again closed later the same year, as the Butlins magic had gone. The eastern third of the site is now home to the Bay, a brand new holiday home and leisure development, and the remaining 2/3 were once again sold to Bourne Leisure, the owners of Primrose Valley, and by sheer coincidence, Bourne Leisure would later become the owners of the Butlins brand. So once again, Butlins had a connection with the original site it once owned. The site has since been heavily developed and remodelled, and any notable remains of the camp have been destroyed completely. But not all is lost, as we're about to show you over the next few videos. And in the words of Billy Butlin, our true intent is all for your delight. So enjoy the videos. I'm stood here now at what would have been the old south entrance to the camp. Now this would have been one of the main roads into the camp, and would have taken you across the back behind me towards the main car park and the reception building where you would have checked in. So let's have a look through the gate. And what you can see today is now the Primrose Valley Golf Course, and then you've got the Bay development just over there behind the trees. But right in front of us here would have been a large building just there, and then the road would have bent right here in front of the building and gone up behind it towards the car parks, which would have been right at the back, probably where that big tree is up there, and the reception building. And also you had the fairground on this side as well, and the staff chalets were somewhere over there. So this is what currently remains of the bottom right hand side of the lake around the front of the property. So right in front of you there, you would have had the lake heading off towards those caravans in the distance. But if you look at those trees there, they are the original trees that used to be on a small island in the middle of the lake, and then the ones just behind it as well. They were the original trees on another island. But the miniature railway used to cross through the middle of those islands and make its way around the lake here and onwards towards the caravans. Told that there are some remains of the edge of the tracks for the old miniature railway and the pond edge as well for the islands, the concrete that held it, just in those trees over there. Now it's a shame I can't get in there, it's private property and it is in use today, so I can't even venture in and show you that. So we're just entering now what would have been the original front of Butlins Filey and the lake with the miniature railway. Again, now it's part of the Primrose Valley complex. But I'm going to show you a picture in a minute that shows the old railway and this lake in front of us here. Now the lake that you see today is based on where the original lake was. Some of it is original, but a lot of it has been remodelled and re-landscaped, because the lake used to go far beyond that way and back round again. But it's hard to believe how different this would have been. The road that I've just come up this way was the original main road that went straight through here in a straight line, and you had all the main camp buildings to the left here, including the swimming pool, and then the lake would have been on the right hand side here like it is, but not there. So it's all been remodeled. So I'm going to show you a picture now, a fade picture, so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. So this section of the lake that you're seeing now would have been the original layout of the lake. Just this part here, and then it would have headed off that way. So the original edging is still the same place of where it would have been. But I'm going to show you another picture now, which shows the railway that used to run, the miniature railway, it used to run all the way around the lake. So just take a look at this picture now. It shows the miniature railway and a small platform which would have been right in front of me here on the lakeside, and you can see the lake as it would have originally continued on the right hand side there, instead of today where it's cut off in the middle. But it's nice to see they've retained the lake in some form anyway. So this road here would have been one of the original camp roads, heading right through the centre of the park. And you would have had the tennis courts just on the left here behind these trees, and then right in front of me here the chairlift would have crossed over the road here and headed off that way. The actual chairlift station, the one on the site, was right here just behind these trees, and it would have headed up and out that way. And also you had a bit of a kids adventure playground just down here as well. But you can see the original perimeter here for the tennis courts on the left, and we would have had rows of chalets again on the right here, heading off that way towards the beach, just as we have today with the caravans. So some of these roads here are probably the original chalet roads. And now looking onto these caravans here that are actually built on top of the old tennis courts, which would have been right in front of us there. So right here is one of the original roads coming up from the north entrance, and just behind them trees there would have been the original Butlins tennis courts heading that way. But there's more to see just down here. Now if we take a closer look into these trees here, this would have been the original wall for the tennis courts there, or the edging, and I'll show you this picture now, and you'll see in there that wall in the picture. Now I'm going to show you that same picture this time I'm going to fade it in from here. This is where it would have been taken from all those years ago. Now this car park here is what would have been the original rock gardens at Butlins Filey. You would have had the dining rooms just to the right over here behind me, and then the main lake just over there in the distance. What I'm going to show you down here is even more fascinating, because it's something again that remains from the original Butlins Filey, which I keep saying there isn't very much at all, but this actually does remain. And it's these original stairs here up to the rock gardens from the main road in. You can see the original stonework there, or the brickwork. So it's hard to believe that this is probably only one of a couple of things that remains from the old Butlins Filey days that's still intact today, and I'm surprised it's still here. But again, here's these steps from the bottom. But it's hard to believe that such a massive site as big as Butlins Filey was. I mean, it was huge. And there's probably a handful of things left. I mean, if you really looked, you might find some more, which is the whole point of this video. Hopefully we are, but this is one of very few things that remains. And it's a bit disappointing that it's nothing bigger than this. A couple of years ago, you would have found more. And even 20 years ago, you would have found a lot more. But it's all been heavily redeveloped now because of Primrose Valley. So whilst we're here at Butlins Filey, I thought I'd mention my dad had an original pin badge from 1947 that he gave me many years ago. And I've got it right here. It says Butlins Filey 1947 on it. So it's back home today. I brought it with me. Join me next week in part 2, where we tell the story of Charlie the elephant. We show you the exact spot where he was laid to rest. We also take a look at Sir Billy Butlin's holiday home at Filey, and also explore the remains of the eastern part of Butlins Filey and down to the beach. Anyway, thank you for joining us down here at Butlins Filey. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video. Any comments you have or any memories you have of Butlins Filey, put them in the comments down below. I'd love to hear them. And also, if you've not already, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week. Bye.